Troy,
What up? What up?
what's going on?
Trying to fix this camera real quick. Get it going. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay. Yeah, he getting ready right now. We've been training all day. He's taking a little nap before we go train again in a minute.
You guys don't have any headphones because it's gonna be. Oh well, actually, all right. It's not echoing. It was earlier, but it's doing well. So
It's
I
doing good
can't
now.
see either one of you. So I don't know who's who, and maybe you want to turn it sideways so that both of you fit. And
This
who is
might this,
who?
this is me. I'm Big Troy, and this is my brother right here. This Troy other coach, his uncle.
All
Troy
right.
coming. He coming now.
So we
Trying to
got a
adjust his eye.
timeline on what time he'll be here.
Shit, in about 2 minutes.
Okay.
Matter of
So
fact,
yeah,
now.
man, if you want to fill us in, give us some backstory, I guess.
Here you go, right here. Hold up. I'm gonna
Okay.
leave this. Y'all see in the back. What's good?
What's up, Troy? How are you, man? Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm good. I'm doing good.
That was an amazing fight, man. I watched that live, man. You were very impressive, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
What did you think of your performance?
I thought it was a cool performance, but my next one gonna be better.
Yeah, obviously I won't even try to, I want to not try, but is it Zengaz? No, I don't know. Whatever. The dude you fighting, he's a lot better than the last opponent because of his footwork, or do you not see it that way? Do you value his footwork?
Nah,
Nah?
I don't see.
Okay.
Nah, I don't see it that way. Nah, um, I look at him like a regular opponent, and when I go in there, I'm gonna treat him like that. So until I get in there, I can't say if he's better or not until we get in there. But my last opponent, I thought he was a great opponent. He was super good, but I just neutralized him and took away his best weapons.
So what made you get into the WBC Grand Prix boxing?
I'll say for the exposure and really just to prove that I'm the best prospect.
For sure. No, definitely. And getting in there, I mean, with the level of opposition, because I feel like you might have took that wrong. I'm not saying the first guy you fought was a pushover at all. I just feel like maybe this guy has more tools. Obviously, all these guys in this tournament, you guys are all fighting for position. So I respect everybody in that tournament, and I definitely respect what you did.
Sure.
So what got you into this sport, man? Why boxing?
Boxing really chose me. I've been boxing for a long time, and my uncle and my dad they used to box, and I just started going to the gym with them when I was young, and getting into trouble and stuff. So that was the best thing for me to do to stay out of the trouble and just fighting in the gym instead of fighting on the street. So I just started one day, and I just kept going. That's kind of really how it happened. It really just chose me. That's what it feel like.
How old were you when you guys relocated from LA to Colorado?
I was about 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So was it like I guess a uprooting for you, or it didn't really matter because you was only 6, right?
Yeah, no, it wasn't too much of a difference. When you're that young, you don't see
Yeah.
everything really going on like that. So, nah, not really. Yeah.
So you wouldn't be able to have like a preference of like Colorado over LA because you just spent more time in Colorado, obviously, right?
Nah, I don't really got no preference. Even growing up, we were going back and forth a lot. So, to me,
Okay.
I've loved because you got so much family in LA and in Colorado. So, it was about the same to me. I liked Colorado because I met a lot of more boxers out there. Like I grew up around Adrian Broner, Jamel Hearn, Robert Eastern, and guys like that. So to me, as far as boxing, I liked Colorado more.
And you knew all those guys from being at the center in
Nah,
Colorado?
my gym, our gym that we had, they were coming there when AB was like 21 years old, 20 years old, and before he even became world champ. And we just met them from Mike Stafford bringing his guys out to Colorado for the air and the altitude and stuff. So, well, once we met them, we kind of locked in with them, and still to this day, we super cool with them. So, it was great, meeting them back then.
And then he spar with him.
Who?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and my uncle used to spar with E Bunny and what's the other dude?
William Action.
Oh yeah, William Action Jackson way back in the day.
Nice. So Troy, I guess in a recent interview, you said that your father your father has changed the trajectory of your family, especially after his struggles. Can you share a moment when you realized boxing was not only about you, but it was more about rewriting your family's story?
Um, I'll probably say shit. When I won, it was certain tournaments that I would win, and I would see how everybody around me would start being more supportive towards the boxing, and being more happy. I feel like everyone starts seeing that I could really do something in boxing, and it started changing everybody's way of living and mindset, and wanting to be in the gym more and training harder around me. So probably when I was about 13, 14 years old, I started seeing how everything started changing.
Did you feel going into that Alexander fight that you might have been the underdog because of his amateur background?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like a lot of fights that I'm gonna have, they're gonna look at me like the underdog, just because these guys, how they might look in the ring, but to me, it don't really matter. They regular opponents, but yeah, definitely. Even this fight, I feel like they looking at me like as an underdog, but to me, we both man at the end of the day, and this is gonna be a competitive fight, and I'm gonna do my thing.
Being in there with Kevorkian, did it feel like he had all that experience? Because he got hundreds of amateur fights.
Yeah, nah. I could see how good he was in there, but my coaches came up with a great game plan, and it's like I just took away everything that he was good at. But he's fighting again. In I think the same day as me in the tournament. He's back, so I think
Oh,
everybody
really?
really get. Yeah. The guy that he's
So it's
fighting,
not
his
one loss
opponent.
elimination?
Nah, it kind of is, but it isn't. Like some fighters that lost, if WBC liked you, they'll bring you back. If for like a replacement opponent or something. I guess the guy that he's fighting, his opponent pulled out because of injury or something like that. So they brought him back. So I think in this fight, when he fights, he'll show everybody really how good he is.
Mm. You said you wanted to show the world why U.S. boxers are the best. Do you have like a rivalry with any particular country, or is it because you feel like they're doubting American boxers? And is there one featherweight which you're eyeing to prove to make your point about being the best U.S. boxer?
Um, Yeah, I mean, I don't really, got no rivalries with no other countries or nothing, but I just feel like, everybody looks like American boxing is getting weaker or something. And I feel like this new generation, well, even the current generation right now is doing their thing, but my generation, I feel like we're going to show everybody that American boxing is really 100% there. And I don't really have uh, no opponent that I want to specifically fight. I want them all. But after this tournament, this is like the Boxing World Cup. So after I win this, it'll be beating almost every country. So it'll be me doing that in just this tournament.
And do you? What's your promotional situation? Do you have a promoter at the moment or no?
Nah, I could have signed with a few top promoters, but with an opportunity like this, I wouldn't have been able to do something like this if I was already signed. And I just stay patient. My dad's my manager, so We just stayed patient and kept working, and then we got a great opportunity in this. So that's really it.
How did you guys get wind of this tournament and how'd you get involved?
Um, Really, I had seen it on I think on Instagram, and
B-ball
huh?
on a b-ball fight.
Oh yeah, on the b-ball fight, and we had seen it on there, and then my dad was like, "Yeah, we're gonna get in that." And shoot, he made a few calls, and next thing you know, I'm training, getting ready for it.
Troy Sr., can you fill us in? How'd you make that happen?
Um, I got a couple people I deal with in the game. Some good friends of mine, and they help me navigate through this a little bit because we want to do things independently. Because I see a lot of guys when they get these deals, they move you how they want to move you. So like, you could be a kid that's ready for a certain level, and they will keep you. How would I say, like, okay, if you sign with a certain promoter, if they want you to fight 4 rounds for a whole year, they're gonna do that. 6 rounds for another whole year. I knew what we had here. We already had prepped him for bigger things at a younger age, and that was always my plan to make him a young world champion. And this tournament, when it came about, it was like that's a perfect opportunity because it ranks us in the sanctioning body early, without having to go through certain steps. I mean, yeah, it's a gauntlet we're going through, but when you got the right athlete who knows what he's doing, and we know what he's doing, and my whole team knows, it's like, okay, Abdullah Mason, if he was in the tournament at the weight he's at, he would have smoked everybody, and the world would know that. But they wouldn't have known that if he wasn't on TV yet, right? So, my kid, he ain't known yet like that. But when it's over with, they'll know him like that. And we try to be humble and everything, but um, he's not a regular 19-year-old. I'll say that. We've been in the ring with everybody, with all the best in the world. They know that. They'll tell you that. So I feel like at featherweight, nobody in the world can beat us. And it's not even like, it's cool, but I just know at this weight class, I feel like you have to really be on a real good one. We got to be on a bad one to beat us. And then in the amateurs, he dominated elite fighters at 140. So we were fighting. He was fighting 140 man, and he was only weighing 130 at the time because the weight classes they had at the time, we had to jump up. So he had to fight at 140, but only walking in at 132. So when it comes to weight, his weight, he's fighting big man already, big good man in the game. Top amateurs. He won, three of them in 1 year as an underdog, 17 years old. So then that was our plan, to get him ready, fight in the tournaments, win those. Then we fought his first year. We fought against good competition. We fought guys 5-0. We picked the best guys. They wouldn't fight us. So when the tournament came about, I called a few good friends of mine, which I'm not gonna put the names out there yet. It's basically like his advisor, but I'm not gonna say it. We ain't gonna get into that yet until I put it out there. But he's somebody that the whole world knows, and once the tournament's over with, then the world knows he's with us. And we sat down, we talked about it. Me and my team came with a game plan, and we figured we win this, and it put us in great position to where we could be fighting for a title soon, and that's the plan. So yeah, it's tough, and a lot of guys wouldn't have made this move so early at this age. But what's the point of all the wear and tear? Going 3-4 years fighting against guys with upside down records. Knocking them out, and and making you think you're something that you're not. I feel like we really do this. So us fighting against guys with bad records on his upcoming, all that does is create bad habits. We want to keep him sharp, keep his eyes sharp, and by doing that, you put real guys in front of him to make him understand that it's real. We don't play boxing, so we're not looking at it like beat this guy who's 5-6 and beat this guy who's 3-8, or you know what I mean. Nah, we coming in here, we coming in here really to fight and handle business. And once this is over with, the world's gonna know, like, whoa, because and this is being humble as I can be. But his last fight, he didn't even go into his bag. We seen things were working. He didn't have to do too much. Kept in the third gear, control it with his lead hand, and stay on that. You ain't gotta do nothing extra. He wanted to open up. I said, no, you don't have to. So he kept it simple last fight. So the next fight, if the other guy make us go a little deeper, we will. But when I'm looking at the field of play, they're all good fighters, but I don't see nothing. I don't see no special effects. So, when we go in there and handle business, the world will see what I'm talking about.
So where'd you get the nickname The Bank, Troy?
Shit. I mean, I always been like the bank because since a youngin, I've always been fighting, and people in my hometown, betting on me at local fights and stuff like that. But it got real big when I fought Shakur cousin. We had a little bet going on and stuff like that. So that's when I really stamped it right there at the bank because I'm guaranteed money when you put that paper on me.
Wait, when you beat Zay, because he made it all the way to the finals. I watched that fight when he beat Kermel. Broke my heart.
I beat him right after that.
Oh, wait, so you the reason he didn't go? I'm lost. So
Nah,
right after he
I
beat
fought.
Kermel,
So
you
I think they fought in like February or March, and me and him fought in June in the summer festival, the Junior Olympics.
oh wow.
Yeah, we fought the first day.
Nice. Nice. All right. So I got a couple questions from the people. First one is coming from Willie City. Was this your first time in Saudi Arabia? How did you like it?
Oh yeah, it was my first time. Man, it was a great experience. Man, they treated us super good over there. I loved it. It's a super nice place to be. The food was amazing, and just the atmosphere was great. It was a great feeling. So yeah, it was nice over there.
Was it easy to get acclimated to the time zone?
Yeah, that was super easy. I think we did that like the first day we got there for real. It was like, just knowing when to go to sleep, like, not being up all night and stuff. And when we got there, it was already nighttime and we had just flew for 16 hours. So it was easy to get some sleep.
Nice. I got Donald in Baton Rouge. He says, "Would you fight on a Jake Paul undercard? Excuse me. Would you fight on a Jake Paul or Floyd Mayweather undercard? And if so, which one?"
Um, I'll fight on. I mean, either one is great exposure. Jake Paul, he's really becoming somebody in the boxing world now. Even his promotion team, MVP, I like them. And same with Floyd. Floyd was always my favorite fighter growing up, so it would be great, to get the opportunity to fight on one of his cards.
Next one is from George Foster in the United Kingdom. He says, "Are you fighting Mosqueda next? 9 fights, 9 KOs from Mexico." But
Nah,
that's not who you're fighting.
I was supposed
I
to,
did
but
see. Oh, you were supposed to?
yeah, the bracket changed somehow. They changed it up, and now they moved me to a different side.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Maybe they see that fight for something down the line. Cause I seen him. He was alright too.
yeah,
Yeah, we said the same thing. We thought maybe they looked at that fight like, because he's a good fighter. He's tough. He can punch. I think they looked at that like these two at the end. And
Yeah.
not saying they said that, but I think anybody that was there in person seen the best fighters there, and it would be them too. So I think they probably seen that like this could be crazy. They probably was like, why fight these guys in the so early in the tournament, and let's do it at the end, which I think is a good idea too. If they both, we're gonna make it. If he makes it to the end, that would be a beautiful fight for the world to see.
I got RB the baller that says, "What would you say the most important thing to work on as an amateur boxer?"
letting your hands go, and the amateurs to win. That's all they want to see is you throwing a lot of punches. It don't got to be reckless, but just letting your hands go and just running up those points in the amateurs. I work on like conditioning to be able to throw a lot of punches, and other than that, you know, just sharpening your skills all around. But main emphasis would be throwing punches.
Okay, this is Malcolm in New York that says, "You strike a television deal. Would you rather a drama reality show with you and 5 other fighters called Real Contenders of Riyadh, or a elimination love show with 20 beautiful women called For the Love of Nash? Amazing performance your last fight, Puerto Rican flag emoji. Which show you picking?"
Uh, Probably the fighters one because that's what I'm on. And
Word.
thank you as well.
We got H Town in Houston. Troy, in the tournament, I've seen a lot of young fighters making mistakes, trying to go for the finish. What keeps you composed when you see your opponent hurt?
Um, Really just staying disciplined because when I see them hurt, I know I could get them out of there. But at the same time, a lot of fighters, not even just in this tournament, but overall in just in boxing, you can see a lot of prospects getting knocked out and getting hurt by doing a little too much. If something is working and you're dominating, you're gonna stick to it. If the knockout comes, it comes. But I'm not gonna go in there, just being reckless, trying to prove something when everyone's gonna see how great I am throughout the fight.
Do you think that you need to complete the tournament before you call out a champion, or do you see yourself confident enough that you can do that before winning the tournament?
Nah, I want to complete the tournament first, so I could really have say so. Because right now, if I'm calling out champions, they're gonna be like, "Oh, what has he done to do that?" But once I complete this tournament and I'm in like top 5 in every sanctioning body, I could do that for real. Then, so as of now, I'm not gonna call nobody out. But once I'm all done with this, for sure, I'm calling out a couple of names.
El consejero, Troy, el consejero from Washington State, appreciate your time. Do you have a mental health coach or therapist? If not, do you believe a boxer can be in therapy and not lose his competitive edge in the ring? Best of luck in the tournament.
Yeah, I don't have a therapist or nothing, but I think a fighter could definitely do therapy and still not lose the mental edge in there. You don't go in there. Well, I don't go in there fighting angry anyway, so I don't feel like you have to be angry or mad to be in there, go in there and fight as a great fighter. So it's each his own, and me, I don't do that, but I definitely don't think there's nothing wrong with having a therapy coach or a mental coach.
I got Z Patino that says, congrats on the win and salute for not being afraid to take risks. I think you looked sharp and showed great poise. What's something you feel you could improve on before your next fight?
Um, Thank you, and the only thing I feel like I can improve on is getting them out of there, letting it when it happen. We've been working this camp, working hard, switching things up. Getting out our comfort zone and going all around America for sparring and training, and so I'm all around. When I go into this fight, I'm going to show something different, but I definitely feel like the stoppage will come, and also shout out to all the fighters in this tournament that's putting it all on the line. Not every prospect in boxing would do the stuff that we're doing right now. Putting our undefeated record against the other best prospects in the world is just, it doesn't happen. Everybody fights. A lot of guys with upside down records coming up and then work their way up. Once they're about 15 fights in, they finally get a tough fight. But in my third fight, or my second fight actually, I fought a guy that was 5-0 with 4 knockouts, and ever since then it's been up. Only undefeated fighters.
Next one is from Mr. Benny Hinn that says, what's the biggest difference in training from the amateurs to the pros?
Um, I definitely probably say that sitting down on your punches, because in the amateurs, in the amateurs, it's just about throwing a lot of punches, and you don't really have to sit down on your shots like that. But in the pros, you gotta when you got people pressing you nonstop, and you find great fighters like yourself, you got to really sit down and keep them off of you. So the biggest difference to me was probably just sitting down on my punches more. But other than that, it's kind of the same.
Next one is from Ali and Dago. He says, Troy, who are your top 3 favorite fighters of all time?
My top 3 favorite of all time would be Floyd Mayweather, Adrian Broner, and Johnny Tapia.
Excuse me. Johnny Tapia. I hardly ever hear anyone say Johnny Tapia. I was already going to ask, what was it about Broner, but now I need to ask about Tapia and Broner.
Yeah, so with Tapia, his story is incredible. How he came up
Yes.
in boxing, and like his life outside the ring was interesting, and even inside the ring, man, he was a beast. And I've always, since I was about 6 years old, 7 years old, I've always been watching Johnny Tapia. I remember one day I was just sitting on HBO watching boxing, and his fight with Paulie Ayala came up, and I started doing more research on YouTube about him, and I just started watching him a lot as a kid. I used to do everything that he used to do in the ring, so he just became one of my favorite fighters. And recently, I was just in New Mexico at the gym that he grew up at, so that was a great experience.
That's dope, man. And how did Broner, I guess, inspire you or motivate you?
AB my second favorite because that's the first big fighter I've ever been around. In like ever since I really stepped into the gym, he was already going to my gym. So it was like, I'm training with this guy, and then on the weekends, me and my dad and my family are watching him fight on TV, in front of thousands of people. So it was like an inspiration type thing, I guess you could say. Like and he was a super cool dude. I mean, he still is a super cool dude, and he really was a great fighter. When he was young, he was a three-time world champion at a super young age, and he took over, and he lost, but I don't think losses define a fighter. And even after he lost, he still has always been my favorite fighter.
Yeah, man. Broner was that dude, man. I just wish he would have stood focused, man. He was so good and had so much potential. He definitely had a great career. I believe he finished that as a four division champ.
Yeah, for division,
Um,
yep.
but yeah, it's funny because a lot of young guys that I interview, he inspired, man. I wonder what would have been if he was able to, fully live out all his potential. How many more people he would have inspired to actually box? That's dope, though, man. Shout out to you. Um, Next one is from Northern Irish. What's happening, Troy? GMAC from Northern Ireland here. Would you ever be interested in coming to the United Kingdom and fighting for the British title? I know it's not your country, but in my opinion, it would be a great experience for a young American prospect to learn your craft away from home. And the UK has some great prospects and the best boxing fans in the world. We show out for the British titles, fights, which in turn would get you experience with big crowds. All the best for the future champ.
Definitely, if that opportunity ever comes about, I definitely would take that opportunity. And I definitely think the UK has one of the best boxing fan bases. Like when Conor Ben and Eubank just fought, that was crazy how the fans were going crazy. And it was a great fight too, though. So that just goes to show you how their fan base is out there for big fights. I think the stadium had maybe like 50,000 people, maybe more or something like that. But I've always heard about UK fights and how the stadiums get packed. So not even the stadium's my bad. So it'd definitely be a great opportunity, and something like that comes up, I definitely be down to do that.
I got Alex Vega from Palm Beach, South Florida. He says, I see a Puerto Rican flag on your Instagram handle. What's the story?
Yeah, yeah. So my mom's side of my family is Puerto Rican, and I don't speak Spanish because I didn't really wasn't around them my whole entire life because like I said, we come from LA. So growing up, I never really got to go to Puerto Rico like that because I was always training. I've been training hard for boxing since I was 6 years old, going to tournaments and missing out on a lot of fun stuff. I've been winning since I was 8, being ranked number one in the country. So when you're training hard, you don't really have time to go do certain things. But now that I'm getting older, I'm starting to be able to go adventure more and go, get with my other side of my family and stuff like that. So yeah, it's great.
So your mom's Puerto Rican
Yeah.
and she's not in you guys don't speak at the moment?
Nah, we do. I
Okay.
just I don't speak Spanish because I mean, I'll be with my dad I be with my dad and my uncle so much. We do so much boxing. It's like I don't really sit there and sit there
For
with them and
sure.
talk Spanish like that. Yeah, but nah, me and my mom were close. I talk to her every day.
Next one is Talk Trends that says, what is your rival that casuals should get invested in? What is your rival that
Uh,
casual should get invested in? I don't know. Maybe he means rival opponent. He wasn't specific.
I don't really got no rival opponent. I really don't care that much, to really have no rival right now. But I'm pretty sure there's a lot of big fights that people would say was a rival. Here in a couple of years, me and other prospects when we line up. But as of now, I ain't got no rival. Nah.
So you telling me when he fight, you and your dad ain't watching him and looking at each other?
Nah. I mean, really,
Bruce
we watch it.
Shushu Carrington.
Yeah,
Ain't that
Yesterday.
man in your division?
yeah. I seen him yesterday actually. Yeah, but he's not like no rival. I'm pretty sure we'll fight one day, but I don't look at it like oh like how other people look at it like he's a opponent I can't wait to fight this and that. To me, if he is there when it's my time to fight for a world title, then it's just that. But I'm not like any opponent really where I'm super like I can't wait to fight wooty whoop. It's if it happens it happens, but I don't care that much to be like I can't wait to watch him. I can't wait to fight him and stuff like that. So, but I definitely think me and Shushu will be a big fight. I definitely think he's gonna stay on track. And by the time I get done with this tournament, I'm pretty sure that'll be a fight that everybody will want to see.
Anybody who has a title at 26, um, anybody who has a title there, honestly, when it's our turn to come up, and it won't be too long, I'll tell you that right now, because, like I said, the tournament's getting us ranked in the sanctioning body. Once it gets to where we got to be at, I give it a year to 18 months. Anybody there, we not, we're cool with everybody, but we don't do the big bro thing. He got a lot of brothers that's really his brothers. So we don't do that, none of that kind of stuff. Anybody who has a title, and they're in the weight division, he coming for them. That's what it is. So it's not nobody specific, but anybody there, when it's our turn, it is what it is. We want that. So yeah.
I mean, I say Shushu because Fulton is moving up to challenge Oshaki. That fight is signed, sealed, and delivered. I just had the president of the WBC on yesterday. He confirmed. And that means his belt will go vacant. Bruce is number one, so he'll fight somebody for that vacant. Maybe he'll fight Brandon Figueroa in the future for the belt. I don't know. But once you get ranked, I mean, he'll probably be the champ.
Yeah, for sure.
In the
Yeah, he's there.
WBC, and I say Shushu because you guys are fighting the WBC Grand Prix tournament, which is going to rank you in the WBC.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we definitely. It's funny because we were training yesterday with Coach K. We're in Vegas right now, so we were out there
Oh,
yesterday.
y'all in Vegas? Holy, I think you did
Yeah.
say that. Man, I should have.
Yeah. We out
Okay.
there. Yeah, we came to get some work. We leave back out this weekend, but we came out here to get some work. A couple guys, and Shusha was there yesterday. We were sparring. He was there. It's not Shushu good. I've always bigged them up in the amateurs. I showed them love. You know what I mean? I'm cool with Shushu because a lot of these coaches I'm real cool with. So Shushu's cool, but he understands if he does have that title when we're there, then we sure will be asking for it. So yeah, if he's there when we get there, then if he has it, that's the one we're gonna be trying to fight. WBC is first, so then anything after that, we'll do that. But if he's there and he has it, we got love for him. But definitely, we want that for sure.
I got Quest in Virginia that says, "What's up, Troy? Blind rank these 5 gangster movies. Get Rich or Die Trying.
2.
Juice.
5.
8 Mile.
3.
Training Camp." I guess he meant Training Day. What the fuck?
Training Day. Yeah,
He
I'm
must have
probably
meant
go
Training Day with Denzel.
Training Day. Number 1.
Boys in the Hood.
Oh damn, 4. I would have swapped up.
So you would have swapped that one, huh?
Yeah.
I got one more coming from Octo that says, actually before because that's going to ruin it, because I've been wanting to say, I feel like you are old, so I need to know what's in your playlist. What do you listen to when you go for a run?
I listen to Lil Baby, Young Boy, sheesh, Fat Mac. I listen to a lot of young rappers. I ain't gonna lie. I don't really listen to a lot of throwback music or none. You know, my
Yeah, I
dad.
was expecting some throwback music. He said every young guy out there.
Yeah, yeah. I be listening
But
to
it's your
young rappers.
maturity, though, man. Your maturity has me like, wow, this guy's got to be an old soul. You're just a very mature young man, man. Salute to you.
Thank you.
So that question, the last one is from Octo. He says, "What's your favorite music artist?" And give us one good movie we should watch.
Um, my favorite rapper, I'd probably say, right now, Lil Baby. He going crazy out in the A. And a movie, a movie that I love watching is 300. Where they over in Greece way back in the day, and they go to war,
Yeah.
to protect their land. And that's the type of movies I'll be watching, before the fights and stuff like that, because that's what I'm about to do. When I get in that ring, it's time for war. I might not look like I got into war because I'm a box super smart, but I like those type of war movies.
Yeah, man. Hey, man. I love your attitude, man. Wish you guys the best. We're gonna be locked in for your next fight. Those are all our questions. Please give out your social media in case anybody following doesn't. Excuse me. In case anybody that isn't following you can do so.
Follow me on Instagram at Real Troy Nash, and then also on Twitter at Real Troy Nash as well. And thank you. We'll definitely be back right after the next fight
Yeah, man. Victory lap on us, man. You got to come through, man.
for sure.
Appreciate y'all. Have a good night.
Thank you too.
All right. There you have it, ladies and